What's going on with this market crash? You're watching the end gambit in The Perfect Crime. What is the perfect crime? It is the theft of almost all of your retirement of the American people, and it's happening before your eyes. The setup. How is this set up? The crimes are planned in advance. Some sloppy and some exact, and this one is exact. How did it happen? A while back, Congress passed a retirement law for the American people called 401k. It said to supply the retirement needs of America's elderly so they can provide for themselves in their old age. The money for this nation's retirement was placed mostly into the stock market. This was said to give you the highest yield, but it was never intended for you. It was all on paper. They had their eyes on that money. How did it work? The workers and their companies took small amounts of cash over a long period of time and let it build. To prevent workers from withdrawing the money, laws were passed, and high fines were placed against those who would withdraw early. That way the average person had almost no options. They had to leave their cash in. Eventually, massive amounts of stock market money was reported by the markets. The Dow, the NASDAQ, S&P, everything looked good, but everything was not good. When a person deposits money in a bank, that bank must, by law, keep a portion of your deposits in cash. Then, the bulk of the deposit is used to purchase hard assets, like bank buildings or manufacturer inventory or property or things that can be sold again and retain the value of your deposits. But the markets have no such requirements. When you send $1 to the market, it buys stock, and the seller of that stock takes your dollar, puts it in his pocket, and gives you a piece of paper that has no value, no intrinsic value. And it's not worth anything unless someone buys it. So none of your money remains in the market. The market retains not 1 cent. There is no money in the stock market, so when you retire, the money you get depends on someone else purchasing that stock. Now, when the turnover is small, that is not a problem. But the demographics of people are approaching retirement age, called the baby boomers. That is a problem because they're a huge demographic. First, let me say that for years and years you have been sending your 401k money to the markets, and people have been living high off the hog on your money. That's the reason you see all the huge houses built in the countryside or fenced cities within cities. The plan was simple. Each week they bought stock and then resold it to you, to the 401k people at a nice profit. The market had to rise. It was steady money for them. Each week they took every penny and put it in their own accounts. Your money. Now the problem is when the baby boomers stop buying stock and retire, they want their money. But as I said, the market holds no money, so they must sell you stock to get your money. The problem is that there will be many more sellers than buyers. And then two things happen. First, the easy money stops for those who take your money every week. And second, and more serious, there won't be enough buyers to buy the stock of every seller. That begins a process of serious, steady reduction in the value of the market, and once that starts, it cannot be stopped. The jig is up. People will understand they have been had and all their money is gone, and then people will get very angry, and it will be too late. The crime has finished. But there is one thing the thieves can do. They can crash the market. If they crash the market and the value of your stock goes to almost nothing, then all the money you put in over the years to buy stock becomes worth nothing. You are just out all the money you paid, and they get to keep the money they took over the years as you paid it. Then they can say, well, it's not our fault. The market crashed, and what could anyone do? Sure, you have no retirement money, but it's not our fault. The perfect crime, and now they're taking their stock out of the market 6, 8, 10% a day, so it does not crash too fast to scare you. And that is why you keep hearing people tell you, leave your money in 401k, it will rise again. Where have I heard that before? Oh, now I remember. Save your Confederate money, men. The South will rise again. You have been had, folks. As soon as they get their cash out of the market, they will just let it fall to nothing. It will sink, never to rise again. At least not soon enough to help you and I. And the question is, what should we do about this greatest of all thefts from the American people? And we need to answer that, and may God help us.